Batman. The Killing Joke is one of the most iconic one-shot comics. It is so iconic that it has been referenced numerous times and even got its own animated movie in 2016. If you want to look forward, you have to know where you're starting from. That's why I'm going to cover Batman, The Killing Joke, 1988. This video will include the Joker's origins, the tragedy of Barbara Gordon's attack, and the consequences. Welcome to the Danger Zone. It was a rainy night in Gotham. Batman storms into Arkham with a purpose in mind. Jim Gordon is right behind him. The Joker is calmly playing a game of cards with himself. Batman takes a seat, staring a hole into the Joker, but he isn't fazed. The Joker starts to play mind games of his own with the Dark Knight. The games didn't last for long because Batman discovered that this isn't the clown prince of crime he's talking to, just a mere copy. The Joker has escaped and is already planning his most famous act yet. The next page starts to uncover who the man was before the Joker. A comedian is getting home feeling anxious about messing up his punchline. The man breaks down to his wife about the internal pressure of not being able to get a job to support his growing family. His pregnant wife, Jeannie, comforts him. The Joker snaps back into reality. He kills the carnival salesman who was selling to him. That carnival was about to set the first part of his act into motion. The comic changes to a maskless Batman trying to figure out the Joker's next devastating plan. Little did he know at the time that he couldn't predict the plan in time. The comic shifts to Jim and Barbara Gordon sitting in their home, discussing Batman and Gotham's villains. Barbara goes to get the door, unaware of the impending doom behind it. The Joker is the person behind the door, but he didn't come alone. He came with a gun and with friends. She is shot and unable to move. She is paralyzed. Jim rushes to her, but he's attacked. While Jim is being beaten, the Joker is taking horrifying photos of his daughter. The comic cuts back to the comedian, drinking in a bar with two criminals, being convinced to commit a crime as the Red Hood, the infamous masked criminal. They plan to rob the comedian's former workplace, a chemical plant. The comic shifts back to the present, with Batman in the hospital for Barbara. The doctor tells him that Barbara's legs are completely useless. As the doctor leaves, Barbara wakes up, crying to Bruce about what the Joker was doing to her father. We see that Jim has been taken and is being undressed by the Joker's goons. He is then dragged around by his neck, like an animal. He is dragged to his knees in front of the Joker, who mocks Jim by saying he's going mad. Jim starts to remember what happened. He yells for his daughter. The comic flashes back to the comedian, agreeing to do the robbery that night. The police confronted him while they were finalizing the plan. They asked the comedian to speak outside, where he was given the devastating news that his wife had an accident while testing a baby bottle heater. She died. Hearing this news, he was greatly pained. The criminals still forced him to commit to the plan. The Joker is back in the present, giving Gordon the worst day of his life. He has him going through a hellish roller coaster. Jim is tormented by the images of his daughter that the Joker had taken. Batman was searching for Jim and the Joker until he was given admission to a carnival. The Joker flashes back one more time to the comedian. He is freaking out. The criminals put the hood on him, then had him lead the way into the factory. The group didn't make it far. They were caught. The two mobsters were shot, unable to escape. The comedian runs across the catwalk, trying to get out of the situation he never truly wanted to be a part of. That's when Batman showed up. When the comedian sees him through his distorted vision, he falls into a vat of chemicals. When he crawls his way out, he's not a comedian anymore, but the Joker. Batman finally arrives at the carnival. He starts to attack the Joker. The Joker sprays him with acid and escapes from the Dark Knight's grasp briefly. While the Joker runs off, Batman frees Gordon. Jim tells Batman to bring him in by the book. He pleads with Batman, insisting that he has to show the Joker that their way works. All that Batman responds with is, "I'll do my best." The final search for the Joker starts. The Joker feels like his point has been made. That's how far the world is from where I am. Just one bad day. The Bat and the Joker have one last fight. The fight gets to a standstill. Batman tries to reason with the madman, but the Joker denies him. He says it's too late. The Joker is then reminded of a joke about their predicament. He tells his final and most iconic joke. The joke was about two men in a lunatic asylum. The two men decide to escape. The pair gets to a rooftop. The first man jumps across with no problem, but his buddy gets scared. He's afraid he will fall. The first man has an idea. The second man can walk across the gap on a beam while he shines a flashlight for him. The second man shakes his head. He asks, "What do you think I am? Crazy? You'd turn it off when I was halfway across." After he finishes the punchline, he breaks out in a fit of laughter. Unexpectedly, so does Batman. They are both laughing together. Then, all of a sudden, they just stop. The comic ends the same way it started, with a single panel of a rainy Gotham. That's the end of the 1988 Batman, The Killing Joke. People are still debating what happened after the crazed laughter. Did Batman break his one unmovable rule? The comic never gives us the answer. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will have another video coming out reviewing the movie adaptation of this chilling storyline. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Goodbye.